Hey everyone, Dennis Kaye here with Belize Islands Real Estate. Just want to say thank you so much for all of you who are buying me my coffee this week, who are keeping me caffeinated, keeping me energized, and pumping out some content that I think you guys will find helpful. And today's topic is vacant land properties in Belize that are in their raw native state. They look just like they looked for the past 50, 100, 1,000 years. And whether or not the property you are looking at buying needs fill, or is it really swampland, right? And the reason I bring this up is because when buying property on Ambergris Caye, what you need to know is that most of the time, the lots that you're looking at are in their raw native state. They haven't been touched ever. And so some of the properties you're looking at may need to have some truckloads of fill brought in to bring them up to level them out. And then once you build your home, your landscaper can plant fast-growing palm trees and bougainvillea and other things like that. But very rarely are you going to find a property that doesn't need some type of improvement before building on it. However, there are some areas of Ambergris Caye that are absolutely what I would consider swampland. And I choose not to represent those properties. But first of all, stick with me on this video because I'm going to show you at least 5 different parts of Ambergris Caye that not too long ago looked like swampland, and today they have some of the most popular, some of the most sought after resorts and projects anywhere in Belize. All right, so I think you're going to get a kick out of this. So stick with me and let's take a little bit of a history tour of development in and around Ambergris Caye. And I think by the end of this, you're going to see the big difference between buying swampland and buying land that simply needs some improvement in order for you to build on it. All right, let's go. So first of all, I'm going to do a share screen with you. And I came across this article. It popped up on my feed yesterday regarding Cayo Espanto. If you want to have some fun and just look at a website that's going to inspire you, go to this website, privateisland.com. You see, this is it here. It's just off the west side of Ambergris Caye. It is an incredible place to stay. And it should be. So for example, if we just go hit the offers button, let's see what type of pricing we're going to find. Let's go for sky, sand, and sea. All right. So let's see what this offer is. Click this, it's going to come up. There you go. Pricing per couple, $14,407, including the tax and resort fees. And that includes a 5-night stay, helicopter transfer to and from the mainland, from the international airport, your food, and a couple other little goodies there. But look at that, $14,000 per couple for a 5-night stay. Now, interestingly, looking at the history of Cayo Espanto, if you go to this website, this article was just published a couple of days ago on March 22nd. Inside Belize's gorgeous Cayo Espanto Island, aka Ghost Caye. Well, I'd never heard of it called Ghost Caye before. Cayo Espanto is its name. But when you look at this article, it has a history of how the developer, Jeff Graham, bought the island, what he had envisioned for it, how it's changed over the years until what it is now. And I want to just point out one thing for you here, right there. It says, when Graham purchased the Faroe Island, it was mainly swampland. All right, swampland. Why? Well, because a lot of these small little islands like this are just a few feet above sea level, and a lot of the areas are low. So many of the areas that you see being developed off the coast of Belize absolutely needs some type of fill in order to make them buildable. Of course, now Cayo Espanto is one of the #1 resorts in the entire country, and it has A-list celebrities staying there all the time because they like their privacy. And there you have a nice picture of the island. So it did not look like that when Jeff Graham bought it. It was half underwater, and they needed to build a retaining wall and to fill the property. And now you see what it is today. So absolutely beautiful property. All right, but what does that have to do with Ambergris Caye in areas that you might be looking at buying? Well, let me pull up. One of my favorite things to do is using the history feature on Google Earth. And again, I'm going to show you 3 different areas that not too long ago looked like swampland, and today they are some of the top resort areas in the country of Belize. So first of all, I dialed back the Google Earth maps to 2001. And the area that I want to direct your attention to is right here. So if I zoom in right here, you see this is absolutely all water, right? So there's some bushes poking out the top here, but this is all water. You see that here, all water, all right? But it was private land. And so let's see what the developer did as we go through the years, all right? So let's bump up to 2003, still all swampland, 2003, 2011, all right? Not much better. You know what? Oh, what's that just popped up on the top of the screen? All right, so we have roads, we have canals in there. 2003, look at this area right here, all right? Bump up a little bit, 2011. All right, so we had excavators come in. They started creating these canals, filling this area to create a subdivision of canal front lots. Let's go a little bit further here. You can see some buildings starting on them. Up a little bit more to 2016. All right, now not only do you have these roads and lots build ready, but now you have another area here just to the south also being worked on. Bump up a little bit more to 2018. You see all this property now is build ready. And notice here, all the buildings that you see that have been built on streets, I believe these are streets 2, 3, and starting in 4. And then let's come up all the way to as far as we can go here. All right, so I guess it's August of 2019. I guess that's the latest shot. So what is this project here that has been built on what was previously swampland? Well, let me show you. I'm sure you already have an idea, but it is the, right there, the Mahogany Bay Village Hilton Curio Collection Hotel. So one of the top new hotels in the country of Belize. You can see it here. There's a great aerial view of it here. Here's the great house, the pool. We have all the inventory there for the hotel rooms of different styles. And all of that was just swampland, what, about 10 years ago. All right, so there is inventory left in here to buy. So there's some great lots. If you wanna, for example, if you wanna buy a lot in this subdivision and build your own home, it's a fantastic area to do so. It's got underground utilities, access to power, internet, cable, water. It's a gated community, and this is a fantastic area to buy in. So if you want more information on that, please let me know. Let's now go back to and take a look at another area of Ambergris Caye to show you that this is just not an anomaly. This is just, it doesn't apply to the area here in the southern portion. But let's dial back the overlay to 2000 and let's go to 2001, all right? And let's go just across the bridge. In fact, there wasn't even a bridge here yet. At this time, there was still a hand-pulled ferry that shuttled people back and forth. But look at this. This is the end of the road, so to speak. You had to get your golf cart on a barge, have it pulled across, and then this is the road going north. All right, so you can see there's not much there at all. But now pay attention to this area right in here as we fast forward through the years. So 2003, nothing there yet. 2004, there we go. So you see all these condo buildings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 condo buildings here, 3 stories high each. We have some villas here that are being built, some villas here and villas here. All right, that's 2014. Let's bump up a bit, 2016. You see it starting to get flushed out. We have an island here with a pool on it. And let's just go all the way up to 2019. All right, so you see how this area has changed. All right, again, going back to 2001, all right, even further. 2001 is about the best quality we can get. All right, up to 2019. All right, you see how much development has taken place. All right, so the reason I'm showing you this is because when this was being built, you had a lot of naysayers saying, don't buy any of these villas, these were built in swampland, or don't buy any of these condos, those condos are built on swampland. The reality is all these condos and all the foundations for all these villas sit on concrete pilings that are right down to the bedrock. And yes, this land was reclaimed. And today I have a villa that sits right here for sale. It's going for $335,000. And let me just show you where that's at in case you want to check that out. So that is located right, let's see, right there. So if you go to Airbnb, all these here are Airbnbs that were once in this uninhabitable swampland. All right. So the one villa that I have for sale is this one right here. It's the Cool Breeze 3-bedroom villa. Again, $335,000. The price was recently reduced on it. You can have your boat right at your front door. There it is right here. And just a beautiful place for a vacation home, an Airbnb, a retirement home. All right, I said I was going to show you a couple of different areas. Let me go up to Secret Beach now. Secret Beach is, of course, one of the most popular areas on Ambergris Caye. And I'm going to dial back the overlay to 2001. And let's just do a little bit of flyover to Secret Beach. It's 3.5 miles as the crow flies. And it's hard to pick it out if you're not used to seeing it. In fact, where is it? Where's the main east-west connection road? Ah, you know what? It's not there. Now watch what happens as we come up a little bit in the years. 2003, nothing there. 2010, all right. So we have this east-west connection road just being built. Okay, it's not even finished yet. It's not passable. There wasn't a bridge here that makes it over. You can see the road starting to be roughed in. And let's zoom into Secret Beach. All right, so let's see what we're going to see. You can see the dark areas here. This is all water. All right, so you can see that you do have some high ground, but you do have some standing water. All right, you have some water coming down in this entire area of Grand Belize Estates. Why? Because this is in its raw native state. All right, there was no drainage created. There was no fill in there. It was just raw native land. So let's just zoom right into the downtown core of Secret Beach. All right, and you can see this is it. So there was a piece of land that had been filled. All right, there is a little welcome center here because the way we used to show these properties is we used to bring them by boat. You get off at this little dock where the Grand Belize dock is, and we would take them over into Grand Belize Estates, and we would start selling properties in here, which were, to be honest, looking pretty rough. But now look what happened starting over the years. We have 2014, all right. So this right here is now where the Secret Paradise Beach Bar and Grill is. And pick up a little bit more, 2016. All right, you can see still a little bit dark, right? So still some standing water there. But now look what happens as we go up to 2018. All right, and now finally 2019. Look at how dry it's gotten. Now, why is that? Because drainage was created. All right, so people started creating pathways for the water that if it rained hard to run off into the lagoons over here, right? So for example, you see this little trench right here. This is a place where any water that will collect in this area could run down into the lagoon. The same thing has been happening here. So yes, after really heavy rains, you still see some standing water. This is in its raw native state, but you can see how it's nicely drying up. And the Secret Beach area, notice how these lots have been filled. Lots that you would stand on them today and you wouldn't even realize that just a short time ago they needed fill. Let's just do this one more time. Let's go to the Grand Belize Estates area. Again, going back to 2010, maybe even a little bit further. And you'll see something really interesting happen with Grand Belize Estates. So that's this area all right in here. So if we go back to 2003, look at there, nothing in this area. Come up a little bit to 2010, you see some rough roads, right? There's still many areas in the subdivision where the road, it was unable to be put in because of the standing water, right? Hadn't been drained yet properly, nothing had been filled. Now look at up to 2014, we have the roads that are all put in, all right? So they're slowly getting flushed out. 2016, now look, you have large sections of Grand Belize Estates being filled. You have individual lots having truckloads of fill brought in, coming up all the way to 2019. All right, you just see how much more here has been built. And if we had drone video today, we would see that a lot more activity is taking place in and around this area. All right, so why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because for those of my clients buying property anywhere on the island, All right. Anyway, it doesn't matter if it's down south, if it's down by the new La Serene project, if it's at Secret Beach, if it's on Costa del Sol, if it's in Laguna Estates, if it's Grand Belize Estates, Palm Isle Woods, wherever it is. All right. The lands are often in their raw native state. And so they are going to need some work in order to get them up to grade, smooth them out, and get them build ready. So what does this involve? First thing you need to do is to have your property resurveyed. Doesn't matter if it was just resurveyed a year or two ago or 5 or 10 years ago. Always, before you start to do any construction on it, have resurveyed. It's not that much. I think it's like 800 or 900 US. That way you know for sure where your property lines are, right? Then your builder can come in. Your builder will coordinate with someone who handles gravel and crushed limestone. They'll bring several truckloads of crushed limestone, or white mall as they call it. They'll throw it on the property. They'll level it out. All right, once it's completely leveled, and what that means is they're probably going to take off every single tree on the property. They're probably just going to level it, clear it. If there happens to be some larger trees near the corners that aren't going to interfere with the house build, they'll leave those. But they'll normally come in, scrape it clean, fill it, level it, then build the house. So there's nothing in the way. Once the house is complete or your project's complete, then your builder can coordinate with a landscaper. They'll bring in some nice palm trees. They'll bring in some fast growing bougainvillea, some other fan palms or things like this. And then in a short period of time, you're going to have a beautiful, lush tropical yard, but it's not going to look like that at first. All right. It's just going to be an ugly piece of land. And so that's what I tell people right now is when you're looking at land in Belize, especially on Ambergris Caye, it's probably not going to be beautiful. I mean, if you go to the Cayo district and somewhere on the mainland where you have lush tropical, jungle, you can walk on those properties and go, wow, this is wild, right? On Ambergris Caye, very rarely are you going to walk to a property and go, wow, this is a beautiful lot, because the lots are just in their raw native state. They're not a whole lot to look at, and they're not going to be a whole lot to look at until you build, plant the palm trees, get the landscaping in there, and make it beautiful. All right, so yes, I just wanted to go through that today. Now what made me think of this video? Well, is again, that article about Cayo Espanto came up yesterday, and as I was reading that through, it mentioned that when Jeff Graham bought it, it was basically swampland, and yet look what he turned it into. This is true of Mahogany Bay Village. This is true of Secret Beach. This is true of Laguna Estates. This is true of a lot of areas in Costa del Sol. You see that most of the projects that are being built or have been built on Ambergris Caye have had some sort of work done to the property. So I'm telling you that up front, so that doesn't make you nervous. You don't get scared to go, oh, what am I going to do with this? It's very easy, guys. All right. You can easily coordinate with the builder, with the landscaper to have your lot build ready. It's not a big deal. Everyone does it on Belize. And what's kind of comical now is people that have recently moved to Belize, I say recently, maybe in the past 3 to 4 years, they don't realize that a lot of the favorite places where they like to go once looked like those old photos of Ambergris Caye going back to 2003, 2010. They don't realize that their favorite restaurants, their favorite bars, their favorite hangout places, maybe even where they bought and where they live and own vacation property look like that just a few years ago. So anyways, guys, I thought this would be helpful for you just to kind of go through this and see what is involved in buying property in Belize, especially if you feel like, you know what, that looks like it needs some fill. Yeah, you know what, it probably does. Just assume that it does. And if it doesn't need much, it doesn't need much. But assume that it does. It's just part of the build process, part of what your builder is going to help you with, part of what I can help you with, actually. If you want to get that filled today, I got people in the island right now that can show up with a truck, get it filled. And this also holds true for road access if your property does not yet have road access. But I'm going to save that for another video because it's going kind of long. So anyways, take this and put this in your arsenal of information. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.